This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is the SVP and CFO of Gunnison Copper, Mr. Craig Hallworth. Craig, great to have you on. How are you today this fine Friday?
Good morning, Gerardo, and good morning to all your listeners. I'm doing wonderful today. I mean, we've got wind in our sails at the company. We produced our first copper. We're the newest copper producer in the country, and we've now sold it, and we've got revenue on that top line and cash flow coming in. So it's a great day, Gerardo.
Well, listen, take a victory lap. I know there's a lot yet to do, and we'll get to that here in a bit, but it's not every day that the conversations I have are about the first sale of copper, especially at a time where the US and look, countries around the world are seeing copper for what it is, which is the most important metal for the global economy. So kudos and congratulations on brilliant execution on that front, sir.
Thank you again, Gerardo. I mean, it's clear. You know, take a look at the markets, take a look at the copper price, take a look at all the copper stocks out there. You know, the whole sector is on fire. Everyone wants to get into copper. The government is stimulating it. The Department of Energy is stimulating it. And for us to bring this mine sort of into production at this time, I mean, the timing just couldn't be better. And again, I just want to emphasize, you know, the copper we're producing, in our case, it's completely made in this country. From that ore all the way to the finished product, it's made in the United States, and we're selling it in the United States. So we're really proud that we're doing our part in this grand effort across the nation to really boost our supply chain. So we're very proud of that and happy to be selling that first copper.
Well, listen, that's the perfect segue into my next question. The other bit of news is you had a pretty important letter of intent with a defense and mineral exploration tech startup that I think obviously very strategic in nature, but I think is a clear path to future collaboration. Can you give me the details on that? That was one of the more interesting news releases that I saw all week in a week full of news. Because again, a bull market tends to bring out the news releases from the investor relations CFOs and CEOs of the world, right?
Yes, we've spent a lot of time at Gunnison Copper speaking with companies in the defense sector in the United States because this is an incredibly important sector to the country. And these are the types of companies that are looking to source critical minerals that are made here. We need secure supply chains for these types of manufacturers of defense products. And that's how we came across Lunison. You know, this is a defense tech startup. It's out of Tucson. Their founder, he's a guy named Jeremiah Pate. He was a Forbes top 30 under 30. I've met him, I've spoken to him. He's a really smart guy. This technology is being used in space exploration. You know, when we go to sort of Mars or when we look at the moon or even asteroids, you know, similar technology to this is looking beneath the surface, looking for those critical minerals on other planets. And really nobody's using this on Earth. And that's where this company comes in. You know, they've taken that technology that's being used in outer space and they've, improved it. They've adapted it for use here on Earth. And we're excited to be the first company, the first critical minerals company with a big property, with a prospective property. You know, we know there's copper. We think there's other critical minerals like gallium, possibly rare earths. And this technology will be the first time they've used it on a property like ours. We're scanning it. We hope to find a whole bunch of new materials that we can proceed with.
Listen, exciting times. Obviously, let's go over how you close the year out. We have October, November, and December left. It seems like a short path towards 2026, but there's a lot to do and a lot of potential catalysts. Can you walk me through what the rest of the year looks like?
Absolutely. You know, we are really committed, and I think anyone who's been following us for some time now will see how committed we are as a management team to making sure we're very, very busy. And we've got a lot of catalysts and a lot of news and a lot of things, you know, advancing and coming out. And it's no different for the remainder of this year. On the Johnson Camp mine, we're going to continue ramping that up. We're going to be starting up the Newton circuit. That's that new technology that could revolutionize sulfide leaching. We're going to start that up in Q4. That's the next quarter. It's Q4 2025. We're starting that up. And we then expect to have our first copper production, our first Newton copper production, which is going to be extremely exciting. In terms of the Gunnison project, that's the flagship. You know, investors are buying us. They're buying the stock. They want to see that project. They want to see it re-rate to the peer group. If you take a look at our net asset value, we've done well in the market the last few days. I think we're up 25%. So, our price to net asset value, we're probably at about a 0.15 right now. But if you look at the other peers in the area, those single asset copper projects in Southern Arizona, you're going to see they're trading at about a 0.45 price to net asset value. So that would be a triple. That implies a triple in our market cap just to catch up to where they are. And we're at a similar stage, Gerardo. We've got a PEA, they've got a PEA. They're not permitted. We're actually permitted at Gunnison. That's a differentiator under in situ. So we just have to do permit amendments. So I think when you compare us to those peers, you're going to see a re-rating. And to help that re-rating along, we've been working on some special studies. We think we're going to be able to cut a lot of CapEx, a lot of OpEx from the Gunnison project. And we're now planning to issue a new 43101 technical report. That's the rigorous technical report according to all the standards. We're going to be releasing that in late December or early January, incorporating all the results of these studies that we're doing. And I'm expecting to see, a materially better product. And I think it's going to be very exciting for the market. And it's going to really help us move that re-rating along to where it needs to be. And where it needs to be is at 0.45 price to net asset value, which would imply a triple from where we are at today.
A lot to like, a lot to be excited about. Looking forward to the rest of the year and really looking forward to 2026. It should be an absolute blast. Craig, thank you so much for your time. Looking forward to having you back on.
Thank you so much, Gerardo. Have a great day.
All right, chat soon. Hey everybody, Gerardo Del Real here. If you're enjoying the content that you just saw, you can let us know in 3 simple steps. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and please share across your network and on social media. Take care, everybody.